Hi out there, everybody. My name is Jesse, commonly known as Road 98 here on YouTube. Um, just sort of came out today to do a video recording on the Mandela Effect to sort of give my point of view or some or synopsis of what this is and how I've so far experienced it or observed it in my own life. The Mandela Effect is basically some people, remember Nelson Mandela dying when he was in prison back in the late 80s. Personally, for me, I don't really know that much about Nelson Mandela. I mean, didn't really learn that much about him in school, so I'm fairly new to the Mandela Effect and observing it as I have so far on YouTube from different people. I have observed it and read more about it from the actual Mandela website that has not really been updated that much recently, as far as I could tell. But the Mandela effect has personally affected me because I do remember things being different than what they once were. For example, the Berenstein Bears, which is now known as Berenstain. I do remember being an Stein in the spelling, like with Forrest Gump. The famous line for me was Mama always said, "Life is like a box of chocolates," and now we're seeing a transition to "Life was like a box of chocolates." And then going from that, we're also seeing other movies being affected, like Disney. For example, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Snow White movie, magic mirror now it says. Whereas it used, for me, I remember it always being mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. Again, that's what I recall. And then Sex in the City, which is now known as Sex and the City. Then Interview with a Vampire is how I remember it being called. And now, from what I've heard or what I've researched, it's now called Interview with the Vampire. So there's some very strange changes going on here, not just within movies and TV shows and things like that, but also some changes going on within spelling. For example, like with Febreze. I remember Febreze being spelled Febreeze, and now it's Febreze. And with Depends, I remember it simply just that, being called Depends. Now it's called Depend. Whereas with Captain Crunch, I remember it being spelled out Captain, and now it's CAP with a apostrophe up at the top, N Crunch, like Captain Crunch. And then, like with Fruit Loops being originally spelled Fruit, now it's Froot. And there are some people out there that remember McDonald's being called McDonald's, whereas I always recall it actually just being called McDonald's. But that's personally just me. And I do remember that the Statue of Liberty was located on Ellis Island, and it wasn't near New Jersey. I do not remember that. I do not remember Mongolia being a country. Now we're on the geography side here, geographical side of the issue. I remember South America not being way over here, and then America being right up here. I remember South America being way over here, is what I actually recall. And again, as I just mentioned, Magnolia. Those are two of the biggest things I've seen change, and the fact that the North Pole's gone, I don't no longer see it on the map. Now it's just giant Greenland, from what I can see. So there's been some very weird things going on, obviously, for me in my own life. And there's also theories out there about the Earth being flat, which is something that I really don't have any proof of for myself, other than the research that is going on right now. But personally, I still am very skeptical about that. I really do not believe that the Earth is flat. And this is no offense to the flat Earth theorists that are out there. If you believe the Earth is flat, you have every right to believe that. From what I've learned about presenting a strong debate is to have respect as well for the other side. There is some things that make me wonder if possibly the Earth may be flat, but at the same time, telling I still have a hard time believing that, and still have a really difficult time with wrestling with the fact that NASA's been lying to us. I mean, taking into consideration that we do have the International Space Station still up there. We do have proof and images and things like that that we've seen where the Earth is not flat. And again, people will debate that, but that's not what I learned in school. I learned that the Earth was a globe, that you know, that there was pressure in space and things like that. I mean, I learned pretty much all the normal stuff about the vacuum in space and about and just different things that I can recall as a person that I learned when I was being educated. Um, Definitely, the bone structure does look a little bit different to me from what I can see where the location of organs and things like that are, which is another thing that the human anatomy has been brought up recently that I've actually done some really basic research into. For me personally, I don't feel like that my human anatomy has changed. For all I know, it could have, but I don't really at least feel like that it has. And another thing about the human anatomy is that the jaw, I guess, sticks out a lot more than what it did. Um, and that, I mean, if we're looking at the perspective of the Mandela effect, it almost seems like to me, and again, this is from the research that I've done, and you can have your own opinion about, what you view, and you can even share it down in the comments below if you want about if you disagree with me or you see things differently about this whole entire effect. But it seems like if we're talking about different realities, which in itself right now, different dimensions of life is still string theory in physics. It's not proven to be accurate and real as of science. And I'm an educated person, and I understand that that's not been proven to be possible just yet, as far as we know. There's different theories in science about how this would take place. But to get back on the subject about the way the Earth is now, it seems like as if this were to be a new or different dimension, which I am going to go there with that, or as others are saying that this would possibly be like a new reality for us. It almost seems as if that this reality is not as advanced as what ours once was, because if this is the case and this is a new reality, no offense to those that you know, if this is all true, no offense to those who have lived in this reality the entire time and remember things a specific way. I'm not trying to throw any offensive things out there at you, but I'm just saying that it feels like my reality that I came from was more advanced because we no longer believed in a flat earth theory anymore. We knew and had scientific proof, in my point of view, from NASA that the earth is a globe. And we didn't have apparently our jaws still stuck out like apes, or that we were not all the way more advanced as Homo sapiens. I don't recall that. I recall our bone structure and things like that from my point of view. Obviously, now it seems like the bone structure is more protective than what ours was, but I find ours to be just a little bit more advanced, and I find the way that our continents are like as if they're trying to shift back together or something. I mean, that's just my point of view, and it's like they're trying to shift back together. They haven't completely shifted apart, like as if maybe they did in my reality, or the Statue of Liberty being located actually on Ellis Island, which was the way it was in my reality. Just like nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. That's another thing that's changed from a YouTuber who made a very good video. It was about 39 minutes long, was describing the many different things that have changed. Nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. It does make sense when you actually sit and think about it. It does connect because it's basically saying that everybody likes Sarah Lee. There's not one person that doesn't like Sarah Lee. It still does, but it doesn't seem as advanced. What I remember being is nobody does it like Sarah Lee. That to me sounds like it's more advanced. It's almost as if in this reality, if this is where talking about like Life Matrix talked about quantum jumping, then in this reality, I don't think this reality is nearly as advanced as what ours once as what mine was that I was in. And I don't know if any of you agree with that, but if this is the case and these are the things that are going on, this is something that is very strange for me. Now, I was only born in 1990. I am actually just a millennial, so you would think that I would be one of the ones that would already be a part of this reality. I feel like just because I'm so young, but I remember things very, very differently. I do remember Forrest Gump only being spelled with one R, and that is support that I have to Life Matrix here on YouTube because um, uh, my dad had recorded it when I was a kid, and there was only Forest. That's exactly what I can recall about it. So I do think that we are living in strange times, but for me to actually sit here and say that this is a different reality, and again, when I was talking about this being a different reality for me, and that this reality may not be as advanced, I was just stating a hypothesis or maybe a possible theory, but I'm not actually saying that this is another reality because it's really hard for me to believe that, especially as I mentioned just a couple times before, when this is still just considered a theory right now. It's not considered to be true, and there is statements in psychology that basically say that our memory can be manipulated, our memory can be changed, our memory can be turned around, and maybe we don't remember things the way that they were specifically were. So I guess I'm like 50-50 on the whole Mandela effect. And I'm not trying to offend anybody else out there who really does like full on support this. I'm sort of just in the middle, basically confused because I do remember things being different ways. A lot of things are hard to give explanations for that have happened. For example, like Luke, I am your father is how I remember it, not no, I am your father. Just and Mr. Rogers, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood now. I remember it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood is what I remember as a kid. So many different things going on. I don't know what it is again. I am smack dab in the middle of how I feel about this whole effect, just because my education and because of being educated in science itself, very difficult biology courses I had in college, and asking these questions is basically what I was taught to do, and to be sort of in the not so much to be in the middle of the road, flat out just to really question it, but being in the middle of the road means I'm more open to the idea of what if still. That's the reason why I brought up what if we are in a different reality. But it's still hard for me to say for sure because of what I've been taught. So you may have different opinions. I've been wanting to do a video on this whole Mandela effect for a while. I've just been waiting on it. And again, if you have different beliefs, that's fine. It's just really hard for me to believe that the Earth is flat. And most people would say, well, with the way that the continents look now, maybe that has something to do with why that's commonly believed, but I really don't know. So, well, this is really all I got to say about the Mandela effect. This is probably actually going to be one of my very first videos I've ever actually uploaded on YouTube, but if you have some other Mandela effects that you know of, other than certain actors or actresses dying and still being alive now, share them with me. I would like to know a little bit more about some more of these because it has still got me questioning. It's got me even questioning my education, which is something that I think is very profound. That people who are very educated are even starting to question this stuff because it's just very strange. So, whatever you have, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. And like and share, subscribe if you want more videos from me. I'm looking at this channel's direction as more of an educational channel, maybe with some movie reviews put in, but I would do the movie reviews different than me just sitting here talking about it. I have some ideas on how to make those really interesting and neat if people would enjoy having those or seeing those. So, any more educational stuff you would like to hear from me, just let me know. And subscribe to this new channel if you'd like. And all respect out there to those who are very deeply into the Mandela effect and believe in it. I'm in the middle of the road with it right now. So any other convincing arguments to help me see things, just let me know. Thank you. Peace out.